Yeah, but that doesn't make sense to me. Why wouldn't they just keep getting more and more and more and not turn evil or bad or whatever these things are? Well, some of them do that. Some of them, it would be like laying in the sun all day as a reptile. Yes, some did that. And it wasn't a problem. These entities would just fill or be bloated with this primordial cosmic energy. And then others would see that and just go for it. They would go for their own kind. Yes. Why wouldn't they just be nice and just lay in the sun, so to speak, and just soak it up like the reptile does and just get warm and happy themselves? Because that takes time. Why not just go ahead and go for the organism and drain that other entity like a vampire and just get it immediately? Don't lay there in source and just soak it up, but just get it. Wow. So they were cannibals of their own kind. Absolutely. And then they realized that that was much quicker. They could get that in an instant, as opposed to charging their batteries, so to speak, in the sun for years. They could just take it from somebody who did that. And that's where the insecurity began. And that's when the fallen state began. Because they didn't do it for themselves, they wanted the cheap and easy route. And then, of course, nobody is going to put themselves in that vulnerable position of the reptile in the sun anymore. They can't afford to, because they'll be consumed by the people or the entities that don't want to do that. So then none of them start doing that. And then they start cannibalizing not only each other, but everybody. Because they realize, oh, this is the fastest way to get the energy. And they don't want to be vulnerable to just sit there and be in that energy. Because they know they'll be attacked. Wow. But that doesn't make any sense either. No, but it doesn't. It doesn't make any sense, because here I am, walking around, and I'm like Source. I've got all this energy going through my heart, and they could just come right up to it. Oh, they could. But they're no longer able to do that. It's too high of a frequency for them. You see, at the beginning, millions of years ago, they had the capacity to soak in that source, be the reptile in the sun, and just heat up their cold blood, as it were. But over millions of years, they don't actually have the capacity to take that pure energy into them anymore. That's why they suck on the anger, the fear, the anguish, the sadness. It's still energy, it's just at a much lower frequency. Because over the years, they simply lacked or lost the capacity to consume the highest frequency energy. So when you open your heart and it's animated by Source, that frequency of energy is too high. They can't get through it. It repels them. Wow. But more questions? Of course. Ask away. Why don't you have that? Fair question. I don't know why we don't have that. Our ancestry lost that capacity too. And it's not clear to us why it's not there. So we created artificial technological means. We don't know why we can't do what you can do. We are perpetually fascinated by your kind, because you can create organically what we have to create technologically, and we're actually more advanced than you are by millions of years. But we don't have the organic capacity to create that field, and therefore we can't naturally repel these energetic parasites that would consume us if we didn't have this technology. They would consume everybody. But that makes us very vulnerable. But it also shows us that this species, humans, have a capacity that no one else has. That you are a miracle. That you would be the one to survive if all the technology protecting all these other species were to fail. You would be the only ones to survive. And it would only be some of you who survived. It would only be a certain select few of human beings who would actually survive. That's how important you are. If our technology fails, the universe goes with it. Except for you.